This is The Bottom Line. The Bottom Line on 938 Live.
A recent study by investment services firm Merger Alpha predicted that e-commerce revenues in Singapore could hit $4.4 billion next year. A traditional retailer that has embraced the digital platform is Singapore-listed Courts Asia. Its chief executive Terry O'Connor tells 938 Live's Karen Tay why it's imperative that shops have to be multi-channeled to generate sales.
I think the way customers view your brand is essentially that they want to be able to trade with you anytime, anywhere, to suit their convenience. So I think to complement our stores, and in fact to drive traffic to our stores, an online presence is absolutely critical. I think the industry phrase is omni-channel, but it really just means that customers want a seamless interaction with the brand, whether online or offline.
Okay, now what is Courts Asia's strategy for selling online?
Well, we've been on this for a very long time, and we were probably ahead of our time in the late 90s when we had a transactional website, and then we sort of cooled it for a while whilst the industry was sort of gathering pace, and we've really come back with a bang in the late 2000s to date. And for a retailer with stores, we're quite advanced and quite mature, and our growth rate is quite significant in the online shopping space.
Okay, now how much sales are you generating from the online channel, and do you have a target in mind for the next, say, 5 years?
Well, we don't reveal precise dollar numbers, but effectively it currently takes about 3 to 4% of our revenue, and it's growing at sort of approximately 70% per annum. I think the growth rate last year was nearly 90%. We're seeing strong growth again this year. We get more or less 1 million visits every month, so we will see huge traffic in, and obviously that doesn't just result in people taking advantage of deals online, but it also gives them a source of information for when and how to visit the stores. So the offer is extremely popular with consumers. And we find that the way to grow that business is obviously the usual price value deals, etc.
But being online means Courts will be competing with a range of other similar retailers. Now, how can you stand apart from the competition?
Well, I think there are a number of things, really. I think the future is multi-channel, and, you see more and more online players only looking for physical locations, whether they be warehouses, distribution centres, or even showrooms. And so, effectively, we give customers the opportunity to buy and collect in the store. So click and collect. Currently 50% of our shoppers take advantage of that. And the reassuring factor of having somebody that you're familiar with, somebody that you trust, somebody with a very clear refund policy, returns policy, I think is huge.
Okay. Now, the other challenge being online is that retailers now have to tackle more sophisticated cyber criminals. Now, how do you make sure consumers buying on your site are not compromised?
Well, we've got very strict codes of corporate governance. We're a listed company anyway. We've obviously just got to make sure that there's security around source codes, around data, that there's business recovery plans, etc. in place. But so far so good. We haven't had a customer breach at this point. Our customers know that they're dealing with a professional organisation that really cares about customer information, and equally they know that we're out there in the community and transparent, and so if there ever was a mistake, we'd obviously sort of move at lightning pace to rectify it. But so far, we haven't had an issue in that.
Courts Asia Chief Executive Terry O'Connor speaking to Karen Tay on The Bottom Line. The Bottom Line is brought to you by Turkish Airlines, Europe's best airline.